The pre-flyers on the recorder.
I started the recording right now.
Great. So we'll just wait one more minute if everybody wants to take a look at the activity flyers that are scrolling past. All right, so we will go ahead and get started. Thank you very much for coming. We have our virtual roundtable for the month of October for South Plains Council. My name is, I forgot to update. It is not the September roundtable, it is the October roundtable. So thank you very much for coming. My name is Barbie Taylor. I'm the Assistant District Commissioner for Roundtable, and we will get started with our opening ceremony. So if you would please rise.
Those in uniform, please salute. Those who are not, put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Thank you very much. All right, so next Craig Jones is going to take us through an icebreaker activity. And Craig, do you need to share your screen?
Yes, I'm doing it right now.
Great.
Okay, if everybody can see my screen, you're gonna kind of need your cell phones for this. If you don't know what Kahoot is a very good way to have like competitions with patrols or little quiz games to like test their knowledge. The kids really like it because they can compete against each other. They see who's winning and who's. It's just good Scout fun. So if you want to go to a web browser, you just go to kahoot.it or Kahoot it, and you put in that game pin. It should be pretty clear what that looks like. I'll give everybody a couple minutes to try to get in.
Craig, is this a free app or a free tool?
There is a free version, but you can't create your own games. The version I'm on is the $6 version. It only allows 20 people to be connected, but for a troop, you could do team-based games if you're meeting in person. Our troop's small enough that generally the 20 doesn't really matter. If you want more than that, you have to start paying big money, about $240 a year. Don't think it's worth that much. But for $6 a month, that's pretty easy to swallow as a troop. So, all right,
if you just find a teacher, we get it for free.
Oh, there you go. All right, does anybody else want to get in? Or are we good to go? All right, I think I'm going to start the game. So you just answer the questions and you'll have your answer pads on your cell phone. Uh-oh, someone does another lashings. Oh, sorry, I got to hit next. All right. I shouldn't have answered. I know all the answers, so I'm going to stop answering.
When was it, Craig?
Which one? It says, true or false, do a good turn daily is the Scout slogan. Uh-oh. We're testing the knowledge here.
Go Cindy.
So you can see how the kids can get pretty excited about that, especially if they're competing in patrols. Oh. Randy's going to know his knots. One other cool thing is I was able to not have to generate all these questions. You could just search for questions that someone's already made and add them to your slideshow. And since Scouts do this a lot, there's a lot of good Scout stuff out there. This one I made. And I want to get this patch too.
I have this patch. Sherry Mason gave it to me.
Do it with your.
All right, Cindy, or Randy's now in the lead. All right, everybody, most everybody knew that one. That's good. This one, it may be a little bit of a trick question. Ah, see, I tricked most of y'all. It says how many Eagle badges are required to get the Eagle, and that's the Eagle required badges, or that was the intent of that question. Oops, I didn't mean to take the lead. All right, I think there's only 2 more questions, I think. Yeah. See, I could see how people could get this one. This is actually the right answer, but the next question most people should get this.
Oh, there you go.
I think the colors messed with everybody on that last one.
I think so.
Because it was green on the last one. Everybody just picked the green one again.
Way to go, Randy.
Yay. So it's pretty fun
Y'all
to see
see
this.
him
And actually,
dancing,
you can even
right?
look at,
He did the happy dance out on the porch, y'all. Just want y'all to see that.
It's funny.
oops. Anyway, I really like it. Sometimes I turn off the subscription and turn it back on, depending on if I need it or not. But for $6 a month, I think it's worth it for a troop. And there's a bunch of fun stuff you can do with it. There's even more to the just like the multiple choice things. There's like ways to do polls and other kind of stuff. So I thought I'd share that and also just kind of have a little fun there.
Great. Well, thank you very much,
Back
Greg.
to you, Barbie.
Thank you.
Greg, I do have a question here.
Yeah.
I was I logged on with a laptop and was watching it on my iPad because the
Oh, yeah.
laptop wasn't showing the questions and the iPad was, but I didn't even get to read the answers to do the pick before the time was up. I don't know if my internet's slow or what.
Oh, it's possible.
Really-
I think that I think your controller that you logged in with when we went to Kahoot.it was it only had the different
Right.
colors. You had to actually look at the screen share to see the questions and the answers. But I could sit down with you if you'd like to learn more about it anytime.
Yeah, again, I'm not on a phone too, so that could be the issue. I'm on an iPad and
Yeah,
a
it could be true.
laptop.
Barbie, can
So
I,
next we're going to talk about,
Barbie,
yes,
can I
go
just
ahead.
ask anybody who hasn't already let me know what breakout session they want to go to? If you'll just slide that in the chat for me so I can make sure we get everybody in the right breakouts, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Christy. All right, so we have two hot topics this evening. The first one is Journey to Excellence. So we've all heard of JTE, and there have been some updates to the JTE criteria for this year and for next year based on the pandemic and the current social situation. So let me just show that. And we will post these files and links on our Roundtable blog site so that you have access to them. And this is just a letter that went out to scouting volunteers to let them know about the changes. A couple of the changes are that JTE is still applicable to units, so to packs and to troops, etc. It's been discontinued for this year and next year, at least for the district and the council levels. But they're continuing the unit recognition. So there's revised unit criteria due to the pandemic that is on scouting.org with the 2020 scorecards. And then they also have published the 2021 unit scorecards. So as you're making your plan for 2021, you already have those references available. So we'll go ahead and open this one. And just as an example, they've got the pack and the troop. We'll just open the pack so we can see this example. And here. So the format is obviously very similar, but some of the things have been revised and what you see in red has been revised. So these are available now on scouting.org for 2020 as well as for 2021 for packs and troops. So I'd highly encourage you to download these, review them with your committee and your unit leadership just to see what you need to do for 2021. And then obviously this is going to be something that we're all going to be looking at as we do our unit recharters starting in November and December for 2020. So please make sure to take a look at this, and we'll be able to answer questions if you have any. Your unit commissioners will be reaching out to you to talk about recharter and JTE and can help answer questions that you may have. So just something to give you some basic information about JTE and what's expected for this year and next year and the changes that have been made based on the pandemic. Does anybody have any questions to start? All right. If not, then we'll go back to our PowerPoint. And we have Nathan Bai, our South Plains Council Scout Executive, who has joined us as well. And Nathan's going to talk to us about scouting for food. So Nathan, I'll turn it over to you.
Great, thank you, and welcome everyone. I want to share a little bit about Scouting for Food and the plans for this year. And for those of you that may not know the history, we have worked with the South Plains Food Bank actually since the beginning of the You Can Share drive, which is in excess of 30 years. So it's quite a long partnership. And the next time you're in the office, if you take a look in our display case there in the hallway, we were actually recognized a few years ago as one of the what they call their Hunger Heroes, as partners that have helped with just long-term commitment and that kind of thing. And there's a couple of old news clippings in there as well. And for some of our more experienced volunteers, there are you may recognize some of the stuff, because I know there are people in the council that have been doing this since the beginning. So although things look a little different right now, and we're not able to do as much in person and that type of thing, we're still partnering and looking forward to doing what we can to support our neighbors on the South Plains and help those that need a little extra food this year. So as a result of that, let me tell you about a few of the things that are different about Scouting for Food. We have been asked to put our resources together, as we usually do, and distribute door hangers again across the city. And so Saturday, December the 5th is the day that the distribution of flyers, or excuse me, door hangers is intended to happen. And fortunately for us this year, the South Plains Food Bank is using some of their resources and partners to sponsor the cost of printing those door hangers. So that is a nice boost to us, as we've been asked to provide the manpower, but we don't have to provide the financial resources. And as many of you know, we get that sponsored annually by 4 or 5 companies in the community. But this year, that's not something that we had to undertake. So I'm appreciative of that. And we are still featured with our logo on the door hanger. And there's 50,000 door hangers that will be produced this year. And we will again create our Google Maps and update the zones that packs and troops have had, and everybody will be encouraged to take their own area, their own neighborhood, and their own service area that you've gone door to door in the past. The only difference is that it's a one-day activity on the 5th, and all we're doing is distributing the door hangers. And those door hangers have a QR code on them that will give an avenue for citizens in the community to go online and make a financial contribution or participate virtually. And it actually has a mechanism to choose a couple of different types of food. So, instead of going to the store and buying a jar of peanut butter or a box of cereal, you can log on and pick a box of cereal and a jar of peanut butter and donate the money for it. And that's really how the drive is intended to work this year. So on the evening of Thursday, November the 19th, that will be our council Scouting for Food kickoff, and we will gather at the scout office and distribute the maps and the door hangers and so forth. And then ideally, distribution would happen on the 5th, but if there's some real conflict with an individual unit and you want to do something different, you can, but the drive itself is December 7th through the 12th. That's the You Can Share Food Drive. And there will still be a little bit of presence at the United store at 82nd and Frankfurt, but there won't be, any kind of public gatherings, and there is not any private food donations being accepted. And that may seem a little odd, but that guidance is coming from the Feeding Texas organization and the Feeding America organization. And, just like we in Scouting have guidelines that we follow from our national organization, the food bank does as well. And so it's important for us to do what we can to get the messaging out there. And the way we will do that is mobilize our Scouting energy and deliver the door hangers. So that's the basic plan for this year. And there is an information piece that we have put together that we'll post on the website and circulate through email. And it just shows you kind of what the door hanger looks like this year, and also a reminder of our kickoff on the 19th of November. And I suspect that we'll also go ahead and just put together a Google sign up maybe, or some way that you can log on and indicate that your troop or pack will participate this year. And hopefully everybody will. It's still our way to, do our community service and do a good turn for others and really help out. And, hopefully it'll be a successful drive for the community, and we can look forward to, getting back to our way that we're able to actually collect, private donations in the future. That's all I have, Barbie.
Great. Well, if anybody has any questions about Scouting for Food, we're going to have a breakout session at the end of the Roundtable. So after our closing remarks, we'll have a breakout session. If there are any questions for Nathan, you can join him in that after. All right. Thank you very much, Nathan. We appreciate you providing that information and those dates. All right, so next we're going to have Kaylin Furman share with us our safety moment for this month.
And thank you. Our safety moment this month is on digital safety and online scouting activities. And like we all are doing right now, being online, a lot of scouting has been going to virtual, but we still have to remember the youth protection policies that we have in place. We always have to have 2 deep leadership in person, online through a web conference call like this, over the phone, whether we're texting or in other forms. We still have to have the 2 deep leadership. All youth protection policies still apply online and in person. So like on this particular call, we actually have where we have to do safety for them for security reasons, but using a meeting ID where we have a password. We actually don't publish it online for everybody to have unless it's just us in our scouting world. Having a wait room so that they have to wait till they get in. The other thing is we cannot record any youth activities. So like today we're recording this conference, this particular talk, but we can't record if the youth are on. And then also we have to safeguard personal information. And if we're collecting personal information, it can't be from youth under the age of 13. Also, all of our rules are still applied to the Guide to Safe Scouting. And we have a Scouting Barriers to Abuse, which will be posted online later. But we actually we have a great program that the Scouts have done for us to help protect the youth and the adults. And by doing our adult application, it does the background checks. It does mandatory youth protection training. And we renew that youth protection training every year just to keep everybody safe. The other thing is we have a BSA digital privacy guidelines, which is all the technical safety. And we have a program that's called Cyber Chip program that's age and grade specific. It does cyberbullying, cell phone use, texting while you're playing games, and identity theft. But the program is really good for every age except for the Lions. They do not have to do their cyber chip. And we can go into more details about that particular one. But there's pocket cards and patches, and then you can watch the videos at NetSmart. And while I was doing this, I learned about a program that just happened to be that Scout just had in June of 2019 called Protect Yourself Rules. And it's an adventure that's through a program through Barbara Sinatra Children's Center Foundation. And it just is an additional to the cyber chip and to youth protection, but it helps children recognize and respond to and report abuse. And they have everything from kindergarten to 5th grade right now. So your Lions to your Arrow of Lights. And they have different requirements, meeting plans, videos that can help with that particular part. And then you can record those in Scout Book. And you can also order the Adventure belt loop or pen through the Scout office. They really are more teaching them how to, just for the safety of the kids. And like when you get up to the Weeblos and the Arrow of Lights, they actually are teaching how the 4th and 5th graders can do build their own social media sites, and then how to recognize not to post like their name and their age or their birthday online. So it's an interesting, a different approach to it, but it was really created to help us out too. And the other things, real quickly, is our BSA social media guidelines for Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Just make sure that we post things that are in compliance with our Scout oath and law, and remember not to do anything that would be un-Scout-like. So, you know, don't put anything that you wouldn't want other people to read. And then it's for youth protection. We also have all the camping leaderships that we try to do with training. And then for our summer camps for the BSA Scout side, all of the youth counselors also go through their youth protection training too. And we're really working on, you know, all the abuse parts. So it's really a good to remember, just for anything that you do online, you do in person. So that's all I had.
Good. And I'll just show, so there is, and we'll post this as well on the blog. So there's the safety moment, the information, and this is the link here that has a lot of those resources that Kaylin was talking about. Yeah. So this is on scouting.org, and it's the digital safety and online scouting activities. So this is a great resource for you for information about everything that Caitlin just shared. So we'll make sure that this link is available on the blog as well. Anybody have any questions? Great. All right. Well, we are right on time. So next we are going to break out into our program specific topics. So we'll have a Cub Scout breakout room and a Scouts BSA breakout room. The Cub Scouts are going to be talking about welcoming new families, and Scouts BSA is going to be talking about developing high performance youth leaders. So if you have not already shared with Christy in the chat which breakout you want to go to, please make sure that you do that, and she's going to put us all in there. We'll be in our breakout rooms for about 40 minutes, and then we will come back to this main session for our Commissioner's Minute and our closing remarks.
You said 40 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to update my rooms. I don't want to pull them out
Trying to
early.
find chat.
Clyde, I know where you're going. I know that. I've got
Okay.
everybody where they need to be.
Thank you.
If you didn't answer, you got placed. If you don't like it, you can always come back out and tell me and yell at me. And then I'll put you where you want to be. All right. And we'll see you all in about 40 minutes.
Christy, am I going to a good place?
Yes, you are. If you will accept the invite to the room, that will get you there. Randall Hust, Austin Moore, accept the invite. Randall Hust.
All right, so I have started our recording and we'll get started again. Thank you very much for coming. We're glad you're here. We are going to be talking about, first off, our South Plains Council Roundtable blog. So I mentioned this several times in the first session. Just want to make sure that everybody has that link. We do post videos from this session, as well as any of the links or the topics that we talk about, any handouts, that type of thing. Those will all be posted on the Roundtable blog. Usually takes us a couple days to make sure we've got everything up there and videos edited as needed. So if you don't see it within the first couple days, just check back and we'll get those posted. Anybody have any questions about the blog itself? Great. All right, so our topic for this evening is welcoming new families. So we are going to watch this video and then we'll have some discussion. So here we go. Once I started, if you can just give me a thumbs up and let me know that you can hear the sound.
Among all the challenges that 2020 has presented to us, there's one thing that is a constant, one thing that is unwavering, that the Scout Oath and Scout Law are universal truths. Lisa Wiley, the Volunteer National Cub Scouting Chair, and I, along with all the volunteers and professional leadership of the BSA, want to thank you for the extra efforts you are doing to provide scouting, not only to your family, but to your community. Your efforts make a difference and make for a better world. I am so glad that you are here and that you are part of Cub Scouting. Welcome to Roundtable. The topic for this roundtable is welcoming new families. In this session, we will cover some quick tips on how to do just that. Let me start off by saying that so many of our Cub Scout packs do a great job. When new parents join, they overwhelmingly say that they feel welcomed and that they found the joining process easy. So you may ask, if we're doing such a good job, why do we need a roundtable session about it? Well, just like a pocket knife, the more we use it, the more we need to sharpen it. Consider this roundtable as an opportunity to sharpen your knife when it comes to welcoming new families. We won't cover official recruitment events or how to get people to those events. This is a focus on the first several interactions a new family has with your pack. So step number one is to create a culture of fun and friendship for adults and parents. Often in Cub Scouting, we talk about making it fun for our Cub Scouts. For this session, consider how to make things fun for adults and parents. When parents see leaders and other adults having fun and developing friendships, it becomes the single largest motivator for them to want to stay involved and perhaps be leaders. Take your monthly pack committee meeting, for example. Don't call it a pack committee meeting. That name alone sounds boring. Instead, have monthly parent meetings. That name change alone creates a very welcoming message. Is the location welcoming and perhaps even fun? Have a come as you are policy instead of uniforms. Maybe it's on the weekend instead of a busy school night. Here's the real trick to making it fun. Know your parents and ask what they like to do. Don't be discouraged if not everyone shows up every time, but make this monthly get-together something that parents look forward to because they get something out of it. A tip from the experts, make sure that you focus on the business of the pack during these meetings. If this only becomes a social event and the business of the pack gets ignored, it will have very negative consequences. All right, so now step number two is to have new parents greeted, welcomed, and onboarded into the pack. If your unit has a new member coordinator and welcoming team, this is their role. Now, I know what you may be thinking, another leadership position to fill in my pack. But here's the good news. You probably already have this person or several of these people in your pack. Don't worry about this as an official position. Think of it more as what needs to get done is to welcome parents. And that can be done by more than one person. Who are the most outgoing and friendliest adults in your pack? Welcoming families into your pack should be a fun activity and something easy to do.
Adults who are naturally outgoing and friendly are usually happy to take on this role officially. This is also a great topic to bring up at one of your super fun parent meetings. What could your pack do to go over the top to welcome new families when they join? Perhaps thinking of your experiences outside of scouting that really made you feel welcomed will help spur some ideas. Brainstorming these ideas at a parents' meeting will lead to some great ideas that you can put into practice. Now, our third step is to have a defined minimum level of participation from all parents. This answers a very important question. What do you expect from a parent? Expecting every parent who joins to become a fully trained registered leader is an unrealistic expectation. Yes, we need parents to serve as leaders, but for those who don't have the right skill sets to be a leader or don't have the availability, what expectations do you have of them? Are these expectations clearly defined? Consider these 3 levels of involvement for parents. The first level is being an active parent and just helping out. What level of participation do you expect from every parent? For some packs, it may mean that each parent is expected to assist with at least one pack activity, such as a blue and gold or Pinewood Derby. Knowing what each parent is good at will help bridge their talents with tasks that you need help with. This is where parent talent survey comes in handy in the parent orientation meeting. Now, the next level is being a registered volunteer. This means that a parent is willing to complete an adult application and be registered with a pack. At this level of involvement, parents may primarily be focused on tasks that directly impact their child and family, and that's okay. Don't expect everyone who is a leader to automatically care about everything scouting. Registered volunteers get access to more tools in Scoutbook and are officially members of the VSA. The third level of involvement is being a leader. Now, I purposely refrained from using the word leader in the previous levels because being a leader means going above and beyond. This is a level where a parent starts to care about scouting outside of the impact it has on their own family. They start thinking about the good of the pack as a whole and the long-term success of the program. These levels help us realize that every parent can contribute at different levels and that we appreciate everyone who helps out. Think back to the first step of building a culture of fun and friendship. Not every parent has a home or work life that allows them to volunteer. This doesn't make them less valuable. In fact, they may feel a little guilty that they can't contribute. And this negative feeling may lead to them dropping out of scouting altogether. A way to prevent this is to make it fun for them when they can participate and let them know that you are glad that they are part of the pack. Our last step can now be completed. Once we have a fun and friendly culture, we have 1 or 2 people who can welcome new parents, and we have a minimum level of expectation for parents. It's now time to put a plan of action together. Now, write down all the things that a new parent needs to know when they join. Now, take that list and prioritize it. By prioritizing it, you may discover that there are some things that they need to know, but not right away. For example, a new parent will need to know how to sign up for the October campout and how to get to the camp, but they may only need to know the date and cost for right now. Once you have brainstormed all the things that a new parent needs to know to get completely acclimated into your pack, build a timeline of when information is given to them. Do not put everything a parent needs to know in a welcome packet and expect them to review it all. Start your timeline with before they join. What basic information does a parent need to know about your pack before they join? The most basic information would be when and where do you meet? The information that you label as before they join should all be information that is on your pack website and social media pages. How long your timeline is will be up to your pack. Now, a tip from the experts on this subject of communications is make your communications singular in topic. For example, avoid emails that have all the information from the next 3 events, along with the parent talent survey, the campout registration link, and directions to the scout shop. That's a lot. The subject line should be direct and specific, and the content should only be about one thing. Remember, you can set up meeting notices ahead of time in Scoutbook. And remember these 4 steps. Make it fun for parents, have official greeters, develop a minimum level of participation for your parents, and lastly, create your timeline of information. Now let's take time to discuss and share ideas with each other. Take time now to consider the questions that are on the screen for the remainder of this breakout session. And I look forward to seeing you next month.
All right.
Oh, can't keep it up there. There you go.
There we go. So here's our discuss and share. So what could your pack do to make it more fun for parents? Or if your pack already does some fun things for parents, share that with us so we can all learn from you.
Well, we entertained their kids for an hour, so that's good.
I will say that some of my dearest friends I've made through scouting, and you know, we probably wouldn't have gotten to know one another if it hadn't been meeting them through scouting. So I think that certainly, you know, trying to make it fun for them so that people come back and start to build those relationships, I think that that is certainly a key piece to it. And we all probably remember our very first scout meeting where we walk in and we see all these people in the tan shirts and we feel very overwhelmed because we have no idea what's going on. So, you know, just any ideas that anybody has to make it more fun for the parents, because especially at the cub age, the parents are the ones bringing the kids to the meeting. And if the parents don't want to go, they don't have to bring their kids to the meeting. They can just not come. So I think that's one of the key topics here, is just making sure that the parents enjoy it so they want to come back and bring their youth with them.
I found that sometimes the games that we play can be the type that the parents can join in with. When we have parents and children working together, that makes everybody more happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of go along with that. I think that some of like that, I don't know if you remember, Barbie, but one year you guys put together a pack Christmas party that was where the scout and their family sort of go around to different stations, and they got to do or taste something for Christmas in a different part of the world. And I think we had as much fun at that as the kids did.
It was our passport. Yeah, we did a passport to new worlds. And the thing that I think was good about that is it was an opportunity to engage parents to help run the different stations that didn't typically volunteer for something, because it was a very small commitment, and it may have been about something that they enjoyed or a place that they had been and had some trinkets from. Or, you know, I remember there was one station where I think it was England, and they were serving tea, and this person really loved their tea, their hot tea. And so, yeah, I think that that is certainly a fun way to have the parents go around and engage with the youth as they're going around each station, but then also bringing in different people, no matter what type of event it is. If you can just bring that person in to make them feel engaged and part of something, even if it's just a small thing where they're running a station or handing out flyers or whatever it may be, I think that certainly can help to engage those parents that may not have the time commitment or availability to make a bigger commitment.
I love your new word.
Go ahead, Cindy.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was going to say, and honestly, going camping with a pack for us was like awesome, because it's like all of the fun part of camping without like all the cooking, you know, back before we were leaders. But, you know, you would go and you'd camp with the kids, but you didn't have to worry about packing the food or cooking the food. You just sort of, you know, brought your tents and your snacks, and then there were fun activities for the kids to do, which was really nice.
Yeah. Clyde, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was saying, I like your new word, trinkage. Show your trinkage. It's show and tell of trinkets. And we call that trinkage.
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 I think the thing I would say is that it's important to play to their strengths. I mean, there's nothing worse than trying to teach something that you don't have a clue about. I mean, I don't want to teach about how to build a birdhouse. I don't know how to do it. I don't care how to do it. I don't like doing it. But give me how to make a trail mix, tell me about good nutrition, which is actually a part of every level. And I'm there, I'm your person. And so that, I think that's part of it too, is, you know, it's fun when it's something that I like to do. And that's the selfish side of it, but it's just the honest truth of it, is being able to take that selfish side of it and be able to use that to the PAC's advantage.
Yeah. And, you know, one thing they talked about was the family talent survey. So this is certainly something where you can ask every family to fill this out, and you're going to be able to find out, you know, who's got the nutrition expertise, or, you know, maybe you have a fireman or an EMT in your unit that can help with first aid, or, you know, all those different things. You know, maybe you know somebody, maybe there's a parent that is a lawyer or works at the TV station, or all the different things that at some point during the different adventures our youth are going to have to learn about. You know, maybe there's an IT person that can help teach the cyber chip. So filling out this family talent survey, and I have to admit, when I was a committee chair, I did not use this to my advantage. We always had copies of it there, but I didn't really push it. I didn't ask people to fill it out. It was just one of the extra pieces of paper laying there, or something we sent home with people, but never really collected them back. And I feel that that was something I certainly could have done better, so that I could know the parents better and be able to play to those strengths and ask them to help us in those different areas.
Yeah, and I think David does this on sort of his den level. So he puts together sort of a list of things that they want to cover for the year, and then he asks families to look at the requirements and see what they would be comfortable helping with, and then has them sign up. Like each scout, you know, families asked to help with at least, you know, one requirement. But they sort of get to choose it rather than being voluntold for it, so they can pick something that feels more comfortable to them.
Yeah, that's a great idea at even the den level, just so that way you can set that expectation with those parents of, hey, I'm not here to babysit your kid. I'm here to teach them something, and you can help participate in the process of teaching the other youth as well. Even, you know, if it's one den meeting out of the whole year, that's a small piece to bite off, and not a big commitment, and doesn't seem as intimidating.
Well, and you can also explain how it helps your children learn how to lead, how to, you know, do a little bit of public speaking, how to lead their peers a little bit, how to plan a meeting. And obviously, as they get, you know, now that they've gotten older, the kids run more of it. You know, earlier in the den meetings, it would be mostly the parents running it, but now, you know, he's trying to really encourage the kids to be the ones who take some of the leadership responsibility, since they're at Arrow Lights this year and Weeblos last year even.
Very good.
Yeah, that's great. How about the Johnsons? Do you guys do anything? What do you do in 536 to try to make it more fun for parents?
One
Do we
sec.
have David and Jennifer? Oh, there you go.
Oh, I just realized I was muted. I was saying we mostly right now have been just talking face-to-face with parents, but I've been doing more and more things through the PAC, like doing Google Forms for things and sharing Google Sheets. So I was thinking it might be helpful to make a Google form of that family talent survey where you can have it automatically do a report instead of having to sort through all these papers and
keep track of the papers. Yeah, that's great. Well, the next question is, what minimal expectations do you set for your PAC's parents? So do you guys have any tips or tricks or just feedback as to what you've done to try to help set those minimal expectations, just to try to engage parents?
I would say our minimal expectations is that we actually require a parent to be at all den meetings, unless they have kids in multiple dens, then they always go with the younger ones. But we kind of make families participate and be there at least.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think just as a den leader, I would always, you know, obviously the parents needed to be there. We would highly encourage that they stay and require that they stay actually. But depending on whatever the activity was for the evening, for whatever adventure, whatever we're learning, if it was me that was teaching it as that den leader, then I would try to engage that parent and say, you know, maybe we're working with scissors or glue or whatever it may be, and just say, hey, I need your help here. And, you know, a lot of times my experience was you'd have the parents sitting in the back on their phones and just heads down and not paying attention or have a clue what we're working on. And so I'd, you know, call their name and say, hey, you know, Mary, can you come over and help me with this? And just try to pull them in by name and get them to engage at a minimum in the den meeting with their youth, or helping with others in the youth, in the den. Yes, Clyde?
One of the things that I encountered in our pack many years ago was trying to get, one of the reasons for having a parent there is when you make an assignment, you say, okay, guys, now next week we need you to come back and have this done, or complete this thing, or bring your little plant, you know, that's growing in the cup back with you on a certain day. If the parent's there, it might happen. And then the other thing is, when it's over, you know, they're going home with their parent right away, and you're not going to be waiting there for 30 minutes for a parent to show up.
Yeah. Cindy, how about
Well, and
you?
so we require parents to stay too. And we had one family that pushed back a little bit last year. And I just told them, you know, look, if there's an emergency, I don't have your contact number. I don't know anything about your child's health history. I don't even know their allergies, right? So it's like, we at minimum need somebody here who knows your child. And, you know, and then, you know, yeah, also if you have parents there, then they tend to be more involved in the pack and they know what's going on. And we do ask for volunteers regularly to help with our events, and we have signups for that. And it tends to be, frankly, sort of the same set of parents every year that kind of sign up and help. But the thing is, about they tend to sign up and help for the same events over and over. It's like they sort of get their events that they sort of take some ownership over for the time they're in the pack, and then they help each year with that same event frequently. And so it sort of gets to be a tradition for them, which is fun.
Yeah. So how do you guys communicate those expectations to the parents? I mean, you know what you're expecting of them. How do you share the information other than just having the blunt conversation like you had to, Cindy? How have you communicated the expectations to parents so that everybody are on the same page?
When we have our welcome meeting and our parent and den orientation, so at the beginning of every scouting season, so usually it's in September, right after we've done like the school night for scouting and the pack sort of re-registering meetings, we have a pack and den orientation, and part of that time is our cub master gets up and just frankly says, you're expected to be here with your scout for both safety reasons and to be involved in the pack. And we ask that everyone consider volunteering at least for a small job to help with events, because our pack is run by volunteers. And so if we don't have parents volunteer, then our pack can't run. I mean, so we just are super, super blunt about it, not unkind, but just really frank, saying you guys have to help or we can't do it.
You know, in Cub Scouting, in all of Scouting, the youth change their jobs every few months. And if we have the same type of things happening, we need somebody to welcome people each month, and somebody to help with refreshments, and then, you know, everybody can help clean up, but somebody to take photographs of what's going on, somebody to help hand out awards, people to take attendance. I mean, just there's 1,000 things that could happen, but maybe 100. But what's good is to switch them around every so often, so the same person's not doing the same thing all the time.
Well, and I think too, at this time is it opens up the door for maybe those parents who aren't more, you know, some parents are just not people, you know what I mean? They want to be in the background. They don't want to be the den leader. They don't want to be anything. But, you know, as we move to a virtual, they've got some of those skills that maybe I need your skills. I need your help, if nothing else, to set up a Zoom or to watch the chat for me and make sure, and it opens up a whole new world of opportunities to get some new parents that maybe were standing in the background going, no, I'm not good with kids, but I'm great with technology. This is a great opportunity to open that door for them and get them involved for maybe the first time. And for some of us, I need that. I need that person.
What about this new member coordinator role? Do your units have somebody either officially or unofficially that kind of fills that role of welcoming families and kind of being a point person, somebody that is filling that type of role? Cindy, how about 574? Do you guys have somebody in that role?
We do. So we have an official person assigned, and she does a nice job sending out emails to people. But honestly, when she sort of was offered the position, I don't think that she was totally upfront about it. Apparently after a year and a half of doing this, she's like, I'm kind of shy. I'm like, really? She's like, I'm a little shy. And so I'm a little uncomfortable meeting the new families. She's like, I don't mind sending emails and everything. She's like, but to walk up to somebody new and just like introduce myself, I really don't love that. And it was something I totally didn't know about her because she doesn't come off that way at all.
That really surprises me because I know her.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so Becky told me this, and I'm like, really? I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to give you a job that was really hard for you. But anyway, so she still does it, and she does a good job, especially with like sending out some emails to families and sort of making sure that they're up to date on what to expect for some of our events throughout the year. But I think that it would be nice. I mean, this year's hard to recruit new people. It just feels very chaotic. So we're continuing to work on it. But I think it'd be nice to find somebody to share the job with her who feels more comfortable walking up to people who are new and be like, hey, you're a new family, so do you have any questions, come find me. And Becky has told people that, and they do track her down sometimes. But in terms of that in-person welcoming, a lot of times the information station, which is what sort of the table that we keep all of our flyers at, and it's the table where we take care of PAC business like dues and paying for shirts and just PAC business. That's really a place where the new parents can come and touch base with somebody about PAC business, somebody that's not their den leader. And so especially in the beginning of the year, we try to keep that table staffed with either myself or one of our other committee members who can answer questions for parents as they come up, and try to sort out how all the PAC stuff works and get themselves settled.
I wonder if you need to have a second person, like have her team up with someone and have the person who loves running up to those people and going, hey, but I hate sending emails and texts and all that. If you team them up, I wonder how they would be like superpowers.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's who we're trying to find, that person that's like excited about running up to the new people, but they're not jumping out of the woodwork yet. So I've got my eyes peeled.
Yes, Clyde.
There's another part of scouting that you mentioned, Cindy? Christy? No, not Christy, Cindy?
Yeah.
You mentioned a recruiter. And a recruiter is actually something a boy can earn as a badge. Used to be able to anyway. Is that still part of the program?
The recruiter patch is, yes.
Yeah. It may be, but see, the boys could get their friends excited about scouting, but what it takes a recruiter, an adult recruiter, to get the parent there. So a recruiter would see a new person and then bring them to the welcoming person who welcomes them into the PAC and turns around and gives them to a technological person, i.e. a assistant den leader or den leader or the cub master, so they can get the technology things and the expectations filled. It's just a little road, where you involve more people. but each person has a specific part of the program.
Mhm. David or Jennifer, do you have anybody in your unit that fills that new member coordinator role, either officially or unofficially?
So we kind of split it among the den leaders to greet the new people, I guess. We don't really have somebody who specifically does that. Now, what we do for the younger scouts, or for the scouts actually, any of them that do register somebody that's their friend, we do make sure that we note that and that we get them that recruiter patch to put on their uniform. And so that way they can like have that buy-in, so that people, and like, I mean, I give it out at PAC meetings and make a big deal about it. So that's kind of what we do for that.
Nice.
Just
once they recruit one, they're more inclined to recruit more.
Yeah, and just so y'all know,
And you probably want to put the recruits in the same den.
and just so y'all know, I mean, we know that School Night for Scouting didn't go as well as we had planned. And so Katie and Mike and and Barbie and Randall are all talking about ways to recruit and actually rewarding our recruiters, our young people who do recruit, who do sign someone up. And, you know, a patch is great, but I think old people really like patches more than young people do. And so, you know, give them a little bit more, maybe a gift card, maybe, you know, they could go get ice cream. Maybe we give them gift certificates to Academy. We haven't really decided yet, but I'm going to throw that out there for you guys. So if you have thoughts on that, shoot me or Barbie or Mike or Randy an email, or Katie even, and put your, you know, tell us what you think about that, because I mean, we're open to anything. We want to make sure that all your units are successful, and you know, that if we can do something in that realm and it would help, then that's what we want to do. So I just want to throw that out there. So you guys shoot us an email. If you think it's a great idea, if you think it's stupid, shoot us an email. Just let us know how you think of what you think about that.
So what other methods do you guys use, or do you think could get and keep parents involved? You know, we've talked about the family talent survey and having them assist with events. Is there anything else that you do in your unit, or that you've thought of doing and haven't yet?
We used praise them. Yeah, we use the Oreo method. We would ask a parent to bring a package of Oreos to a PAC meeting, and generally a parent who brings a package of Oreos is going to be one that will stick with you and volunteer more. So we started small with the Oreos, and once we saw who was going to bring the Oreos, we could really build them up into the position that fit them best. So that's kind of how we started them. That's how we got them. Can you bring a package of Oreos?
You know, I think my challenge when I was a committee chair is that I tried to do it all myself, and I wouldn't ask for help. And after a year or two, nobody would even ask me if I needed help anymore, because I never asked for help. And so it just became this vicious cycle of me having to do it all because I was stubborn in the beginning and wouldn't ask for help. And so I think that a key piece of what I learned and that made it more fun for me and took a lot of the stress away from me is asking for help. You know, I don't even remember what I first asked Cindy for help with. Maybe it was advancements or something, you know, just something simple. Not that advancements are simple, but something simple in the beginning, so that then you can kind of, you know, reel them in and get their help with other things, like Christy said with the Oreos. But that was my challenge, is I was just too stubborn or too proud. I don't know what I was, stupid, I guess, that I wouldn't ask for the help because I thought that I needed to do it all myself. So my recommendation is just ask. If people know that you need help, they're willing to help. But if you look like you've got it all under control, they're just going to sit back and enjoy, right? Like camping. If you're the ones that are doing all the cooking and all the cleaning and everything, and you don't ask for help, they're going to sit back and not even think twice.
Man, is that what I'm doing wrong?
That's what I learned. Ask for help.
Well, I think the other challenge is, so you know the kids, like you know the parents well who are in your kids' den, right? And they know you. But if you're trying to get to know the parents in the pack, maybe in the dens that you're not as familiar with or you don't interact with as much, it's hard to know. There's not that personal connection there, right? So it's hard to know what those parents might be interested in doing, and it's hard for them to. It's harder, it feels like, for the parents to maybe approach you and say what they're willing and able to do.
Yeah. I did like the suggestion in the video of getting away from it being like a committee meeting, right? Anybody can be on the committee if they want to, just have it be a parent meeting. And then more people are going to be, open it up to everybody. And then they're going to be more inclined to come and actually understand more of the business side of the pack and the things that are needed, and have that visibility to every bit of the planning that takes place to pull everything off, right? It's not just showing up on a Tuesday night for an hour. There's so much work and effort. And I know as a brand new parent, when we very first joined, I didn't realize, I never thought about the level of effort that other people were putting in when I was just showing up. And then once I got involved, I realized, and that's when we started volunteering more and more. It's just that realization set in of knowing everything. And so I think opening it up to all parents and just making them feel welcome, and even if they just come one time, they can kind of start to see that everything that it takes.
Yeah. Great.
Any other thoughts?
I wonder if you have like an icebreaker, like if you encourage your den leader to do an icebreaker at one of their first den meetings for the new parents to talk more to each other, so that it wasn't on the parents to break the ice with each other, that it was something that was more organized, so they sort of started to build those relationships. Unless, some dens are super friendly with each other, and other dens, it seems like the parents just don't interact with each other very much. So maybe if you had them build a relationship with each other, it would encourage them to keep coming back to their den meetings, because the parents want to go and chat with their new buddy.
Right. I think that's a great idea.
I think we have about 2 minutes left. Is that correct, Barbie?
That is.
I don't know
at
where
the
our
beginning
countdown
of
is.
in the beginning of a PAC meeting, we typically have a time when the boys go and play and stuff, and one den leader takes care of that. And maybe we could have a time when we could do things with the adults as well, and not just sit around. I had a scouting moment up at Camp Post, not this past time, but just this within the year here. And it was in the middle of the afternoon, and there were people in the campground, but the flag was not on the pole. And so I went and put it up, and then along, it's getting pretty close to time to take it down. The sun's starting to go down, and this leader was up there. This parent was there in camp, and she was sitting on a rocking chair on the porch. And I went out and I asked her, could you help me take the flag down and fold it? And she was so excited that no one had ever asked her. And so, we brought the flag down, and I taught her how to fold a flag, and she just went out of there ecstatic. It's simple things that we take for granted that parents don't maybe even know about.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you guys, you got about 30 seconds, but I wanted to let you know that Jennifer put her Google Doc into the chat box for you guys. That is that parent survey. So if you're interested, check out the chat and download that form. And I'm sure she's happy to share that with you guys.
Yeah, I think I can copy it and send it someone if they want.
The sad thing is I don't even know, because all
You're
my
not even
shirts
sure.
have
Over 9,000.
because you're not supposed to have more than 9 on a shirt.
Are you talking about knots?
Okay.
Just
No.
patches in general.
Patches in general.
Yeah,
Okay.
just patches. I loves me some patches.
All
I do
right.
have, if anybody's interested, I do have the proverbial butt chewing patch. It's an actual council strip with the Chaparral District.
Austin,
on
it's a
the
beautiful
Elmhurst
patch.
Strip. It is. Should not ever happen, and a DE almost lost his job over it. But I still have about 10 of them. So
Those are worth some money there.
oh yeah, for sure. It's actually worth some patches for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, those are nice patches, Austin.
There you go. Oh yeah, those are nice.
Very nice. Christy, do you want to record again?
I never stop recording, so I'm trying to figure out if I can get Maddie back from the breakout room. If you want to give her about 30 seconds, that breakout room will close. And then we can start new breakout rooms. You know you're sitting in the dark, right?
We have Mike May.
Go ahead. She'll be here in about 15 seconds, so go for it.
Ready? All right. Well, the only thing I have, obviously, we always are ready. Commissioners are available to help with JTE, recharter, anything that y'all need us to do. If we can't help you, we will find somebody that can. Also want to say that I was at Webelow Woods last Saturday, and it was a great event, well attended and well planned. Sonia Morton, I believe, is who led that up, and she did a great job. It was exciting to see. I think there was over 100 scouts there, so it was like a pre-COVID event. It was really neat. So, but also Austin's got a lot going on coming up Saturday to help replenish the lake, and we appreciate him and everything that he's done. And also, I want to say that we have 2 new units, a boy and a girl troop 174. And I want to thank Troop 575's leadership and scouts. They hosted the leadership of the girl troop 174, and they had a wonderful time. And it was a really neat meeting to be a part of. And they learned a lot, and they were very energized going out of that meeting that 575 had. And so I can't thank the leadership out there, Alan Taylor and Barbie Taylor, and everybody that is connected with that troop. Was great. So that's all I have.
Before Randall goes, Austin Moore did say sign up for Workday. The link is fixed, and he put it into the chat box for anyone who wants to sign up for OA Workday.
Thank you. Mr. Hust, did you have anything you wanted to say?
All right, actually I do, and I've got company out here too, so I don't know if you guys can see him or not. But hey, again, I just want to give a huge shout out to all the guys that have been working diligently. Sonia Morton, I'll echo Mike for the event that she put on, and everybody else that helped out with that event with Webelow Woods. Just amazing, so refreshing to see scouting coming back. Some of the meetings we've been in, and you guys know this, is just it's almost been kind of depressing. You know, we're all really tired and worn out from COVID. We're ready for scouting to get back to normal. And, you know, it's so cool just to see things happening again, and to see Cub Scouts units meeting again, to see Boy Scout troops meeting again, Girl Scout troops meeting again, and just the amazing things that are happening out there. And I want to give a huge shout out to Mike May for getting his unit started out there. You guys have no idea how much effort he's put into getting those 2 units started, his boy and girl troop that are out there. Mike is a tireless worker. He's just an amazing guy. When I think about a commissioner's heart, he is the guy. And so, you know, we've joked all the time about the only person that thinks about your unit more than you is probably your commissioner. And Mike May is definitely that guy. So just a huge shout out to him. I know that he is going to be such a valuable asset for our council for a long time to come. And I'm just thankful because he is, you know, I could say he was extraordinary, but sorry, Mike, the reality is, man, 99% of you guys out there that are, again, putting your brown shirt on at home just to be crazy and hang out with a bunch of other people, you guys are amazing. You guys are extraordinary. And Mike and myself and all the other leaders, you know what, we're just one of a bunch of really great folks. So thank you guys for what you do, and just keep scouting. We're right there with you.
Great. Thank you very much, Randall. All right. So now Christy is going to help share our closing remarks, and we first have a video. So Christy,
before Christy talks, can I say a couple things?
Absolutely, Katie.
Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to brag on Mike May and Clyde for taking some time out of their Saturday and coming out to Weeblows Woods. They were awesome with helping with check-in. Mike helped in the kitchen, and then Clyde helped in the trading post. Our morning would have been incredibly stressful without them, so they helped a ton. I don't know how much that they realized they helped, but I know that Sonia and I noticed an incredible difference. So thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate that. And then one thing that I wanted to add that I didn't get in the announcements is Saturday during Scout Shop Saturday, we will be having a Build Your Rocket Day. So if you have new scouts that got a rocket and they have some questions about building it, or you want to direct them to a place to build it that's not a den meeting or a pack meeting or whatever, Randall Shaw will be out at the scout office on Saturday to help build rockets, and then they'll be able to decorate them and all that fun stuff. So that's something fun to look forward to. If you have scouts that are not new but also would like a rocket, they are able to purchase one for $5 at the scout office. So if you have some kids that want to do that again, please let us know and we can get them a rocket. And that's all that I have, but I just wanted to throw that in before we go our separate ways.
Thank you, Katie. All right. So Christy, anything to say before we play the video?
No, let's start with the video.
All right. If I can get it to play.
Even if it's been a while, after all the many miles, you're always welcome here. And whoa, and even if life brings a change, I know we'll be the same. You're always welcome here. You're always welcome.
I do this because I love the interaction with kids and you make friendships for life.
Whoa, whoa, always welcome, always welcome.
It's been a great experience. We've made a lot of wonderful friends. It's just a great program for kids, I think.
Scouts gives you an opportunity to build relationships with people. It was just something different all the time. So it's been a really good experience to actually be a part of.
I love being able to teach the kids, watching them light up when they get something that they're frustrated about. They just are like, yay!
Even if it's been a while, after all the many miles, you're always welcome here. And even if life brings a change, I know we'll be the same. You're always welcome here. You're always welcome.
So that's our closing for today. Before I do a lot of talking, I do want to note that a little birdie did tell me that there was one more person who made Saturday fantastic, and that was Austin Moore. He was apparently all over camp doing all kinds of really fun stuff. And so I just wanted to tell him how much I appreciate him being there because he's a rock star. He already does a lot. And so I really do appreciate it. I think the one thing I loved about this video, it really did focus on Cub Scouts, but it's true in scouting as a whole, which is, you know, if we have it and we get our kids involved and we get our parents involved, they should always feel welcome when they walk into our room. And so that's the challenge that I have for you, is that, you know, in this time where it's so uncertain and the kids don't know what's going on, and maybe they're struggling at home, and, you know, they've had 4 months off from school and now they're trying to get back in the swing of things. Not everything feels welcoming to all of that. And so Scouts, we have that opportunity to make them feel welcome, make them feel safe, and then make them feel like part of our family. And, you know, Barbie said in our Cub Scout breakout is that, you know, some of her best friends were made in Scouts. And I can say the same is true for Randy and I. You know, some of our best friends are Scouters, and I don't foresee my future without those people. So I would challenge you, as you look at your adults, as you look at your kids, this is a place that we can create for them that will give them a safety. It'll give them a place to feel welcome. And sometimes our kids don't always have that safe place to feel welcome. School is really hard for them. And so it's always nice to always have a place for them to do that. So I would challenge you, I mean, look at your unit. Make sure that if there is, you know, an adult, a kid, or anyone who's kind of outside on the fringes, pull them in and make sure that they know that they're welcome, they're wanted, and that they're needed. And so that's how I would tell you, as you go out this week and this month, is, you know, look for those people and make them feel welcome, because that honestly is what Scouting is all about. As we've walked this journey through this craziness, we've focused on Scouting. We've stayed strong. We've stayed the course, and I think it's gonna pay off in the end for a lot of our young people and a lot of our adults. So I appreciate you being here. I hope you always feel welcome at Roundtable. If not, be sure to let one of us know. You know, if we need to kick, you know, Randall out of the room or something, we'll do that. If we need to, you know, let Mike May talk longer, we'll do that too. But, you know, we want you to be welcome, and we want you to know that you're a part of our Scouting family, and we love and appreciate each and every one of you. So welcome to the family.
Well, Christy, thank you very much. So that's what we had for tonight. We do have the opportunity for 2 breakout sessions here as Roundtable is ending. So Katie's going to be available if anybody has questions about the Cub Day that's coming up later in October. And then Nathan is available for any questions about Scouting for Food. Do we have anybody you can just put in the chat if you want to join either of those breakouts? Any questions for Cub Day or Scouting for Food?
Or if it's just a quick question and you want for, okay, Austin, hang on. Well, let me see if I can figure out how to see if you can.
Or if there's just a general question, we can also do that here.
I'm going to try and be there for Austin.
Austin's going to Scouting for Food. Clyde, you want to go to Scouting for Food, you said?
No, I was going to go be with Austin on Saturday if I can.
Oh, okay.
Oh, for the OA workday.
Yeah.
Austin, I assigned you to Scouting for Food. Nathan should already be there. If you want to join that room. Anyone else want to join anywhere? Austin, you have to join the room in order to talk to Nathan.
It doesn't give me an option to join the room. There needs to be a button for me to click. There it is. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else? I think that's it, Miss Barbie Taylor.
All right, well, thank you very much. We hope to see you again next month, November the 12th, as our next Roundtable. So you're free to go. Thank you very much for coming, everybody.
Hey, Maddie, I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Barbie, do we need to talk about next meeting, or are we just going to hang out, or? What do we need to do?
Yeah, Christy, you can probably stop recording if you want.